since January, so I'm a little rusty at my studio skills here, but that ought to do it. So, all right. We have a few topics on the schedule for this evening. Michael, TKI, was going to talk to us, I think, very briefly about a circuit that he has some information on that he's been tinkering with, an over voltage circuit. Kevin, you've got, I guess, one acquisition from FDIM, the Hans Summers QMX kit that you wanted to touch upon, as well as a Pico board, I believe. So that's what I saw. And then I'll have a slideshow, very heavily unedited, from FDIM and Hamvention of recent, to go over our travels there, and I'll have a few words to say about the Central Ontario Hamfest that I attended this past Sunday, for those of you that are curious about it. So, and then after that, we'll briefly just go around the screen, so to speak, see what's on your mind, see what's on your bench, and that'll be pretty much it. So, all right. So, Michael, are you ready to?
Yep, I'm here.
Give us a little overview.
Yep, just let me try to remember how to share. There we go. Share window. Oh, look at that, it worked. Appears you can see that. Can everybody see that?
Looks good. Yep.
Okay. Hopefully, well, maybe I'll try the slideshow and see what happens. Here. Okay. There's really not much to this. That comes right down to it. Can you see the second slide?
Generator over voltage protection.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Good. This is actually a project that, I built this years ago, sometime after 1994, obviously. But anyways, for field day, and basically it's based on an article in the June 94 QST, page 4344. And basically what it is you connect your field day loads, whatever they might be, your transmitter, whatever it happens to be, to the load side of a GFCI. And what it does is it compares what's coming in to what's going out. And if the currents differ more than 4 to 5 milliamps, it trips. In particular, it trips if you ground something, which is how this thing is based. So anyway, you ground the hot side of the load through a resistor, and away you go. And it's you set it so that you decide what voltage you want it to trip at, and you use a variac to do that. So this is the circuit. Let's see, can I do my pointer thing here? Oh, look at that. There we go. Okay. So anyway, basically you connect your generator, be it a EU2000 or whatever you're using, to the input of the line side of a GFCI, and hot to neutral, and you also got the ground. And on the load side, you connect your load to the other side, and this is where you plug stuff in. You plug it into the standard GFCI, just plug it in. So what it does, the way it works is takes 120 volts, rectifies it down to 12.6. The peak voltage is around 18 or something. Once you rectify it through this diode, it's got an LED to show you what's going on, a capacitor to filter the output, and you feed it into this LM723, and basically what you adjust the voltage using the pot here. And how you do this is once the thing operates, the voltage goes too high, what it does is the 723 grounds pin 11 here, which basically turns on this triac, which means that you've got a on the hot side of the GFCI, the load side, you've got a resistor here, and basically what this thing does, once the triac turns on, it grounds the hot side, which just trips the GFCI, and that's how you get protected. And that's really all there is to it. So yeah. So anyway, what you do to calibrate this thing is you put you decide what voltage you want. You measure that with a voltmeter, of course, and set it up through a variac, and decide what voltage you want. Set that voltage, and then you adjust this resistor here until the circuit trips the triac by grounding pin 11 here through an LED, so you can see it. And that's really all there is to it. It's nothing particularly fancy, and it does work. So I built one and used it a few times. So here's the GFCI, here's the transformer, and whatnot. And inside you got this little LED thing that lights up, and this is what it looks like. I just mounted it on a board that I attached to just with standoffs and whatnot. And there's the pot, there's the IC. This is the triac over here. There's the resistor and the other parts. And for what it's worth, the first time I tried this, I put somehow I ended up with 120 volts right across the capacitor, and I discovered what happens to a capacitor when you do that. A 25 volt capacitor when you do it. It's rather neat, actually. You get this little spiral of paper comes out of it. Anyway, so that's really all there is to it. And anybody got any questions, I can try to answer them, but it's really very simple. Nothing to it. I used it a few times for field day. It seemed to be kind of sensitive, so I eventually stopped using it and just connected to my generator, and everything was fine. So anyway, that's what it is.
Michael, you said it was sensitive to what? To RF that's around on field day, you mean? Like you were getting accidental?
I'm not sure. It could have been. I don't know. It never really did figure that out, but it tripped a few times on its own. So it was the circuit was obviously sensitive, and as you can see, I didn't bother to put it inside any shielding or anything, which may have been why. I don't know. But this is going back years. I built this thing late 90s, I guess, and used it a few times, and then decided not to. So yeah.
The other question I have is, did you film the capacitor blowing up?
Unfortunately, no. This is before before cell phone days, so I didn't. But it was really spectacular. It just blew up.
We should make it a SOAREX rule that anytime you turn a power on the first time for your projects, you must be recording it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's all there is to it.
Michael, Dave has a question.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Dave.
What do you mean? No, Michael, I'm just curious. This is very, very interesting, by the way. My condolences on the capacitor, and pass along my, sympathies to his family. But now in that schematic you had, now I take it the load line that would actually go to your load, right?
Well, yeah, basically, yeah. The GFCI is here, right, and it's got the hot side on one side and the load side on the other, and basically you plug stuff into the GFCI. So that's what you're doing, yeah. Sorry,
that would be your normal device you would plug in, and this all this is doing is just tripping that hot, putting it to ground so that the GFI will trip.
Exactly, that's exactly what it's doing, and it's doing it through this 12K resistor here. That's right.
Does that 12K resistor, does it get warm at all?
Oh, I don't remember.
When it trips?
It trips instantaneously. It just trips and it's gone, right?
Of course, yes, of course. It's not going to be running any current over any lengthy period of time. It'll take it maybe a second at most to trip, right?
They say the 4 to, yeah, that's right. It's very fast. Like it just goes and it's gone.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. So this is the capacitor in question here. Dearly departed capacitor.
Okay. And Michael Peter has got a question for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a really clean way of going for over voltage protection, because I've done circuits before, like crowbar circuits and all those kind of things, which is sort of like, you know, really ramming it to trip over. But this is much cleaner because a way of doing it, because you're just adding a little bit of a resistance to the hot side of that the GFI, and that's what it's made for, is to trip. That's a good circuit.
Very simple.
Yeah.
And the IC, this IC here, I you know, it's got some kind of reference voltage, and it compares pin 5 to pin 6, I gather. And I don't know a lot about how it works, but it does work. And you adjust it by changing the pot here. So you want to make it trip at a higher voltage, you can do so, or a lower voltage, whatever. So yeah. Anyway, there it is.
Michael, I have a question myself. Did you actually put this to the test once you built the circuit? Like,
Oh
did you
yeah.
intentionally?
Oh yeah. I tested it to I put a variac on it and set the voltage. I picked 130 volts. I forget why. I don't know whether could be the article talks about 130 volts. I don't remember, but so I set it for what, 10% over. Another yeah, about 10% above the 120. So I actually did try it out, and it does work.
Right. Oh, okay. All right. So, like, did you ever put an actual device under test on it, or just the variac?
Oh well, I don't remember whether I don't remember whether I had my transmitter connected to it when I set it, but basically,
just something that would intentionally trip it, you know.
No, I didn't do that. I just set it with the variac to make sure that it would trip at the whatever volt, 130 volts, let's say. That's how I did it. So I don't remember whether I had anything connected to the GFCI or not. Probably not. When I built it, I just tested it, and then I used it in field day. So it does work. I mean, you know, it was tripping spuriously for whatever reason. We never really did figure out why, but just occasionally it would trip. Then I'd reset it, and away you'd go, and eventually it might or might not trip again. Yeah, I used it a few years at field day. Yep.
Did you have it shielded at all when you used it on field day?
No, I did it exactly like this. This is exactly what it was.
Just out in the open. Yeah. Right.
Just out in the open with a broken cover. maybe that's why it tripped. I don't know.
It's a good thing. Okay. I think I saw Howard. Did you have your hand up earlier? Maybe not.
Yeah, I did, but I had my question answered.
Oh, okay. Drew.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was a legitimate trip, if the generator was, moving around too much.
Hopefully not.
Well, that's kind of what it was.
Especially since I used it other years without it.
Yeah, okay. No, I just wondered. I mean, they do drift a bit. Maybe this thing was just refined too tight.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I don't know. But it only, I don't remember how many. I used it a few years, I think. I don't remember. And I do know that occasionally it tripped. I can't tell you whether it was the first time I used it and never had a problem since, or what. I don't remember. It's too long ago.
Yeah, fair enough. Just, it's a nice circuit, at least. It's a good idea.
Yeah, very simple, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, thanks.
No other questions, I guess. So I'm just going to stop it here. Go back.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't see any other hands up. So thank you very much for that. I think that was quite interesting, Michael. So appreciate that. Okay. Kevin, are you ready to roll with your...
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Michael's stuff is about things that are there and working, and I'm just sort of about possibilities tonight. So one of there, let me turn the screen on here, and whoops, that's the chat. Hang on. And where are we? Window, and that one, and share, and okay. So there's so one of one of the presentations there was George Heron from Midnight Designs, and he talked about coherent coherent CW, which is not what I'm going to talk about, but as part of his coherent CW project, he has this Raspberry Pi Pico board as a keyer, and it's got an option to discipline it with a GPS oscillator, a little screen that you can plug on the top, all this kind of stuff. And one of the things I do when, I've always wanted to play around with these Picos, but I find it always a pain to, plug in like a breadboard and then plug in jumpers, and you need a switch and a power supply and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so we had this little board. It was $5, and it's got like 4 switches. It's got a pot, or like for an analog input. It's got some outputs. It's got a power supply built in. It's got another little place for an op amp that you can plug. And I thought, what a great development board. So that's why I bought it for $5. And I thought that's not a bad deal. The Pico is, like $5.75 from DigiKey right now, Canadian. For those of you in the US, I'm sure it's less. Anyway, and that was, and this is his finished unit that does his coherent CW, where he's got another board that plugs on top of the Pico, and then he's got a GPS oscillator. He's got an OLED display, and I think that's an SI 5351 board of some sort. So anyway, that was one thing I picked up that I thought was really interesting. The other thing was a little more, whoops, gotta go back here. A little more professional, and that is, well, hang on, let me just put there's the Midnight Designs thing is in the chat, the URL. And the other thing was Ham Summers had his new receiver that he decided to bring out. That is a combination of the QCX and QDX. And I thought, well, that sounds really cool, because it does almost everything, and it receives sideband, and it's got an SWR bridge built in. It's got all kinds of stuff. And so anyway, I bought one of those. So this is more of an unboxing. I haven't even started putting it together, but what's interesting is I thought it was interesting how he's got the circuit boards here, and he's got like multiple boards. There's one here, there's another little interface pin thing there, and there's a couple little boards here, and they're all, breakaway style on the board. So he printed it all as one panel, manufactured it as one panel, and then you just break off the boards, which is something I don't remember ever seeing before. And then he's got the display. He made a very nice little case for it. I know he was, for anybody that has a QCX, the QCX Mini, I think he said he regretted not doing better mechanical or paying attention to mechanical stuff. Well, he certainly seemed to do a much better job here. There's a very nice little case, very light, but aluminum, and seems pretty sturdy. That's the back side of the board. As you can see, and there's some heavy duty surface mount stuff there, some very fine pitch stuff. And again, just a lot of it's all there, so we don't have to worry about it. It's just the through hole stuff that, and toroids, of course. What's a project without toroids, right? So this is what you have to put on the board. As you can see, there's a bag of toroids to wind with a whole bunch of wire, and then just various jacks and knobs and that sort of thing, some resistors and capacitors. And that's about it. So, and I thought, for $100, it seems like a pretty sporty little radio. I noticed the firmware for it is still in alpha on the website as of like an hour ago. So I think he's still implementing some stuff, but I'm sure it's going to be, considering the heritage of the two radios behind it, I'm sure it's going to be a good little radio. So, and yes, Peter, it means I have to learn CW. So anyway, that's all. Just a couple of interesting things there, and some stuff we want to do. Peter, I see Peter's up there and he wants to say something.
He was first. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't realize that Hans had put the extra couple of boards there that are still attached to the main board. Now, we've talked about doing something like that over the years, because, if you can get a price for a certain board, and if you can get a whole pile of little projects on the one board, you could save yourself a ton of money. I think some board houses will allow it and some are not quite, or they'll charge you extra if you put those little, what do you call it? Those breakaway cutters. They might charge you for that. But anyway, that's interesting that he's done that. And learn CW and drag Dave along on with that one as well. You know what? You're going to have to find somebody. If you go into that coherent CW, you're going to have to find somebody else that's into the coherent CW as well.
I'm not doing that part. I'm just going to try and stick with the regular CW. I think that'll be enough of a challenge. Mind you, the coherent stuff, can be done by computer. So anyway, sorry, there's two other hands up.
Dave's up next.
Oh, okay. You're muted, Dave.
Am I supposed to lower my hand?
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, I think you have to manually do that.
Yeah, Kevin, did you get I attended the presentation. I can't remember what happened this morning. Does it need a PC? It seems that some things like CW and things like that, you don't need a PC for, but if you're going to be using some of the heavy duty digital modes, you're going to need like Joe Taylor's software. He doesn't have that integrated into it, does he?
And the QMX? No, you can plug it. Yeah, no, it's got a USB-C port, so you can plug it into your laptop or whatever, and it's like a QDX. Then it becomes like your digital front end, the radio front end to your digital communications. WJTX and FT8. I think it does FT8. I'm not even sure now. It does a bunch of the digital modes anyway, but it does. Oh, okay. Marty's going yes. So,
but it relies on a PC to do some of the lifting for you. It's not like if you look at Farhands, where it's completely self-contained. You don't need a PC. So because this is not a Raspberry Pi. It's got a big giant processor. He tried to keep the costs down.
Well, he says it's a full SDR, like the sideband is an SDR sideband, like an SDR receiver for sideband. And if you look at his website, so anyway, I had an interesting conversation with him during club night, and he explained to you, because I was asking a whole bunch of questions about why he didn't use this MOSFET or why he didn't use this part, and it's a very interesting perspective on cost. Because in order for him to deliver this at the price point it's at, he has to cut as many corners in terms of trying to make his expense, his cost of actually producing this as low as possible. So that's why it's as cheap as it can be, because he's trying to use inexpensive parts wherever possible. Yeah, of course, and it looks like quite a nice little radio for what it is. So
yeah, it kind of inspired me looking at all the SDR talks. I came back and I've been trying to get some of my SDR products here. And later on in the presentation, I got a short video showing two of my SDRs working. It's like 2 minutes long. I'll show it towards the end of the presentation if this meeting, if we have time.
Okay. I think, Michael, your hand is still up.
So Kevin, basically, if you want to take those, if you actually want to use this thing, you just take the interior components and sort of twist them, and they come off the board. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you just carefully break them apart.
Yeah, and it just comes apart cleanly, I guess. Must do. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can put it back up. Hang on a second. I can put it back up and zoom in a bit. Here, just so that everybody can see. Hang on.
Yeah, the board house will do a special cut around those boards so you can break away. They're made to break away.
Oh, yeah, so if you look like in the corner here, they've drilled out the holes there, so you can easily break it off. And then they've got that, another one there, another one over there. There's another set there. So you break them off, I guess, and file, maybe just file them down to clean them up a bit. There's another one. You can see them there. So, I mean, there's a lot of material left there, so that they look like they'll break pretty easily.
Neat idea. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
That doesn't look like Kevin. That doesn't look like the those breakaway cuts that they make. So maybe that was his way of getting around getting charged extra.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? I
So
mean,
that you can easily cut it with a side cutter or something.
that's true. If you just tell them drill some holes in these places, what's the difference, right? It's going to break. So anyway, but that is a 6-layer board too. So that's not a cheap board to begin with, right? So anyway, that's it. Just some thoughts and ideas and possibilities.
Kevin, do you have a QCX?
Actually, to be honest, I do, and I'm channeling you here because it's still in a bag in pieces. I have not put it together yet. So if anybody's interested in a QCX that they want to build that's in pieces, I have one I'd be willing to part with.
Oh, you may have a buyer, Howard.
Howard,
What band is the QCX?
I'm trying to remember if it's 20 or 40.
Oh,
I'd have to go look.
if it's 20, I might be interested in it.
Okay, I'll double check because
You don't
my
have to.
memory's not that good. So
Well, you can get to me later. You don't have to look now.
yeah, no, I'm just making a note so I don't forget. So you're interested if it's 20 meters, right?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a 40. I wouldn't mind a 20.
Okay, all right.
You said QCX, like Charlie X-ray, right?
Yeah, it's the QCX with the bigger one with the case and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the 40.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
no problem.
Oh, you can bring it to the field day swap shop, right? Where everybody brings stuff they want to sell. So there you go.
Worth a thought.
Oh.
Okay, Marty. You're muted, Marty. You're still muted.
Got it.
Oh.
Okay. I built the QCX, the large version, when it first came out. And the reason I built it was not to use it, but rather to get a handle on how my Morse code was being sent. Because the QCX is a very excellent code reader. So if you transmit into that thing, it's got a practice mode and it comes up on the screen. So I was using a side swiper. So I used a QCX there. Basically, I bought it basically as a code reader to help me learn the code. And I found a very excellent way to learn the code is to enroll in one of the courses by CW Ops. And I enrolled in the CW Ops course. They require you to, put in an hour's practice every day, and there's 2 sessions a week. And that's an excellent way to learn Morse code and improve your sending. So there's a testimonial. That's it.
That's very good.
That's good to know. Makes me want to build my QCX. So we should have a race, Kevin, if you don't sell it. So. All right, one of many races. So, okay, that was it. So one more off the list for this evening. By the way, you mentioned George Heron, N2APB. He was one of the speakers at this year's FDIM, right? Yes. While I was cutting the lawn, I listened to a recent QSO Today. I think Eric Guth dragged one up, an old interview, remastered it and posted it a week or 2 ago, but I posted the link in the chat to the YouTube. It was actually a pretty good interview that he did with them. So if you want to hear a little bit more of what George has to say, of course, he was chat with the designers with Joe back in the day. So talked quite a bit about that. So if that's up your alley, which I'm sure it is for a number of the assembled crew here, you want to have a listen to that. So, all right. So I think that's it for questions for Kevin. So we will now get into a 4 Days in Mayhemvention slideshow. So let me share a tab here. First is going to be a my ugly mug here. I think Dave took this as we were departing from his place on the Monday early in the morning. So it's a video. I'm not going to bother playing it, but anyway, so let's get going. This is a little bit of a travel log. It's not strictly speaking just 4 days in May and Hamvention, but you get a little flavor of what we did for the week, and might whet your appetite for going down next year with the cruise. So yeah, this is us crossing the border into the States. Very easy getting in and out of the States. Very small lines in both directions, which was great for us. I know it wasn't the same for everybody, but we didn't run into any significant snarls or troubles. No ferry crossings, no sinking cars, none of that. So don't ask. Kevin, happy Kevin, with cart full of groceries and some libations to bring to the house that we rented. That was the backyard of the Airbnb that we were at. Very comfortable place for us to stay in. We did a couple museums in the lead up to 4 days in May. So on the Tuesday and Wednesday, we visited, I guess it was 3 different places altogether. The first day in the morning, we went to the Armstrong Air and Space Museum, and I think I've got some pictures somewhere here of that. But this is actually the Wright brothers, which was in the afternoon of that day. There's the Wright brothers installation. Again, this has nothing to do particularly with that, but yeah, I don't know. There we go. Back at the Airbnb. Enjoyable, comfortable, cozy place for us. So cramming into the car off to one of the museums, it was a tight fit in Kevin's car. So this was the second of our free days prior to FDIM, where we went to the National Museum of the United States Air Force. So lots of things to see there. There's our resident Canadian astronaut, the latest in the long, illustrious line of spacefarers. Interesting vehicles, concept vehicles that were modded by the U.S. Air Force. So kind of cool. By the way, somebody alert me if we do end the recording here. I can't quite see if, actually, I guess we'll get maybe a recording is off message here. But anyway, if I miss it, please let me know. So yeah, cool vehicles at the United States Air Force Museum. Quite a place to go to. You could easily spend, better part of a week if you went through everything, looked at everything, read everything, went on all the guided tours. No shortage of people to go, basically veterans that were going around, telling you all about what you're looking at and giving you sort of that human touch. But all of NASA's experimental craft were there, plus Skunk Works, Lockheed, Boeing. If it was part of the Air Force at any point, you're gonna find it here, either one of their prototypes, or in some cases the real deals. So went through the presidential wing of the presidential hangar myself for the first time. This is at least my 3rd visit to the museum, and got to go through all of the Air Force Ones for presidents, I guess, starting with who's the first? Help me out here, guys. Is it Eisenhower?
Wasn't it Truman was the first one?
Something like that. I don't know.
World War II. I don't know. Whoever
Truman.
Was it, Truman? Yeah,
I think so.
For some reason, I thought there was one before him that had an Air Force One. But anyway, yeah. So Collins, transceivers in one of the early planes that caught our eye. So RCA equipment down there on the lower shelf. So here's a view of one of the hangars. Again, with a lot of the experimental aircraft in it. This is outside of the museum at the end of the tour. little group shot, except me. I was in the gift shop buying things, of course. So actually found a really cool book on my dad's favorite plane, the SR-71. Gave it to him for his birthday last week, and he was overjoyed. Called me later and said what a nice gift that was. He definitely would have bought it in a heartbeat. So it was a good gift. So anyway, here we are, assembled at, I guess, the evening of 4 days in May. Everybody's just arriving, and we're at our usual place at the bar, at the Holiday Inn. The venue occurs. We've all got our registrations, and we're just chatting and getting ready for the plenary session, which started on the Thursday. So that's the assembled group from SOAREX. The beginning morning, we got quite a few, I think, similar shots here. It's me stealing Peter's raffle prize. I think he got a disciplined clock, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one that can be used as that. So he eventually did get it back, unfortunately. But there we are. Cherry's first time down to FDIM. So nice having some new blood there. Yeah, so this was, I presume, a vendor night where DX Engineering was handing out some little tchotchkes and swag to get people interested in going to their booth, I guess, at Hamvention. And all right, here we are, I guess, into the first day of Hamvention. Now, just before we get off of FDIM, you know, excellent talks this year. There were, I believe, about 6 of them. Six different presentations that were done throughout the day. Hans Summers, Farhan, George, as was mentioned, a couple others, but wide ranging, you know, everything, I guess something for everyone there. So well done again this year. The syllabus that they handed out had, you know, basically all of their presentations for the most part in there, and, you know, very interesting. Young and old, technical, not too technical, hands-on, more theoretical. It was pretty much, you know, something for everyone, like I said. So yeah, here's into the forums on the Friday morning of Hamvention, and into the actual exhibit halls. Again, well attended. I don't know what the totals were there for the event, but I'm sure well north of 30,000, as has been in the past. A little bit of relaxing, and I guess I'm not sure who that is who's holding court there, but he's got at least Peter's rapt attention.
That's Sean.
Is that Sean? Okay, I thought it might have been, but didn't quite. I go, the shirt gives it away, I guess. Yeah. There you go. So Sean, our friend, yep, that's definitely him from Hawaii. You know, always an interesting fellow to talk to. Very involved with many technical things in his career. Currently working on radio telescopes in the Atacama Desert in Chile. So always eager to hear updates from him when we get together. So, and some of these pictures are not mine. So whoever added them to the album, if there's something that you wanted to bring up, please feel free just to pipe in and give us a little bit of a overview of what we're looking at. So yeah, the ARDC people were there. You know, if you've got a need for internet addresses that you want to have permanently, they will give it away upon a reasonable request. If you make an application to them, I'll give you a permanent IP address. There's still many millions available, so something to keep in the back of your head. So vendors. A Prius that's after my heart. actual all operational antennas on this one. You'll see another one actually that is more for show than anything else. But this was the Thursday or Friday evening, Friday evening, I think. The buildathon, Rex's buildathon. So fairly small attendance this year. I think there's about a dozen builders approximately. And there's Bert right across from me, and a few others down the other angle as well. But I think I'd say the majority of people got the units working. I don't believe I was one of them. Mine didn't quite get finished. I was working off of a slightly older set of instructions and should have just gone ahead and plunked everything on the board. So I was a little bit behind the 8 ball this time. So yeah, there it is. There's a close-up of Rex's new and improved Hamfest checker, which had it been assembled, you could use it to take around to various bits of equipment and test things out. This is a design that he's used for probably decades, or made a long time ago, that he's made at least 2 versions of it since the original. But anyway, so there we go. A few more pictures. Paddles. So this would have been club night. One of the entries was one of the speakers from FDIM, the talks. Alex, I think the name is. That doesn't sound quite right, but
Right, it's Alex. He's got the YouTube channel.
yeah, Mike, I don't know. Anyway, K6ARK, obviously. He was just showing these off. He wasn't selling them, but 3D printed paddles and straight keys, paddles, side bugs, just about everything that he's kind of, it's a little bit of a obsession with him, is making these little, MIDI paddles. And he makes all of the STL files available for free on his website. So I think he's got a Thingiverse, printables. That's what it is. You can see on the side there at printables.com. You just search his call and you'll find the plans to print these out. And with just a few little bits of basic hardware, you've got a homemade paddle for yourself. So not sure, but he's carrying around his own cutlery. That was Jim Scott. Yeah, there you go. This is what I meant. Really, really unedited. So here we are at least night 2, maybe night 3 at the bar at the Holiday Inn with our favorites bartender Beverly, who we see.
That was a good night, Derek. Do you remember why? It was a really good night. Do you remember why?
Was this the night that the beer spilled?
Well, yeah, that was part of it. But Jim won the contest, so the beer was on him. He wouldn't let anybody buy.
Mm-hmm. That was also a good reason to be there. Yep. Yeah, there you go. He was very happy. So yeah, we got into some, and was it Jim and the fellow to his left there found out that they were both from the same state, and then they really got into it, right? That was a fellow who was running the video, I think, for the speakers on FDIM during the day. So all right. Some more pictures. That is Farhan's rig, I guess, that he was selling at the event. So I picked one of that up. It's the successor to his BITX 40 is SBitX, which is a 40 watt transceiver, but does digital, does sideband, CW, and more. So it plan is to actually have that operational by field day, which is coming up. See if we can put it on the air and get her working. So we'll see how that goes. I've got it made it up to my Pi 4. I just bought the board because he was selling it with a board and an enclosure, but it was pushing close to $500 US with all the tricked out stuff. So I figured, hey, I got a 4 that's unused already. Enclosure, well, that can come down the line. I've got small 7-inch screens that I can hook up to it, so not quite as neat as his all-in-one enclosed SPDX, but still. There you go. I'm not sure what's with the cramping shot there, but there is what it is. So here we are back to the I guess video, or there's some music, but yeah, musicians in the Boneyard at Convention, probably on the Saturday. Not sure exactly what we're looking at. It looks like
it's from Communication Concepts.
Okay. Okay. So that was Cherries. Lots of components, obviously, of anything that you want, connectors, components, all kinds of things to be had there in the Boneyard. So on and on and on. Impossible to see everything unless you run through it. So bunch of voltage. Yeah.
These are the power and transistors.
Are they? Oh,
LDMOS, sorry. Yeah.
Ah, got it. This is cute, right? Seen at one of the booths. Nice mixing board. Oh, there we go. So there's the Prius. I think I may have even seen this one around somewhere before, but with the appropriate license plate, some functional antennas, but I would say probably only a handful of them. Most of them are there for show, but cute. If this is, yeah, okay, I thought so. This is the Voice of America Museum. So on the Saturday evening, we did another trip. They were open until 9 p.m. So right after Convention closed up, we went there and went on a tour of that. Again, first visit for some, second for others, at least. Fascinating place. Some of their transmitting equipment is still there, the original stuff. It's deteriorating, but that structure you're seeing there, all kinds of manual latches that had to be thrown to basically connect the feed lines to the giant antenna arrays that were once upon a time out there. Now you've just got basically the club towers that are there. Man, sorry, finger keeps hitting the button. But very active. They still have an active club that you can use. None of us operated while we were there, but it was there for the use if you wanted to. And again, seems like a very active club that utilizes the equipment. But excellent museum. We had a great guided tour this time, and went over a lot of the technical aspects of what went on back in the day. This is inside the museum. Our tour guide was a Canadian. That's him in the right beside Dave, between Dave and Peter. So there's that poster I was telling you about that I think Dave took a few pictures of. That's similar to the one you got in the back of your shack there, Bert. my car loaded to the gills with various bits and pieces, but you know, it was good because it did limit the amount of stuff that could be brought back. So hey, what
No
can I
room
say?
for Rex this year.
No room for Rex or verticals or servers, that's for sure. So glad I got all that out of my system previous years. So this is, I think, is this yours, Peter?
Let's pause. Let's pause.
This is
This
Peter's
the
boot?
stuff,
Or
no,
Dave?
this is the stuff Dave bought.
This is
No,
Dave.
You could count it on like two hands. This is the stuff Dave bought. Okay, continue on.
So Dave is also uses food stamps, so we all have to feel a little sorry for him. But this is all Dave could afford. There it is again. I think this is Peter's. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's now pause here. That's all I bought. That's all I bought, and the most I've ever bought. So slightly more than Dave, but not much.
All right. So there you
In other
go.
words,
I was missing the hat and the shirt in my picture because Peter and I bought the same hat. I got the light blue shirt. Peter got the dark blue.
Hat doesn't count. Those are
let's
free.
put it this way: all my stuff can fit in the glove box.
All right. And this might be Dave's, if I'm not mistaken, who is not.
Yes, I am here.
Oh, here. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Yes,
Is that yours?
that's my stuff, and it's not everything. There was 5 T-shirts and a hat and a few other good things, but this was all the bits and pieces stuff.
Okay.
So still pause because that still fits in 2 glove boxes.
Yeah, it did fit into one grocery store recyclable type of bag, except for the T-shirts. That was another bag. Of which it was a great deal. I bought 5 ham radio T-shirts for $1 a piece, brand new and my size.
I actually found that vendor, Dave. After when you said that, I went walking around and I actually found it. But most of the good T-shirts were gone. I think you took them.
I got my share. That's for sure. One of my objectives was to come back from Dayton with at least 1 ham radio T-shirt, and I did.
And
Mission
then,
accomplished.
yeah. Nice. I never saw the T-shirt booth, but that's fine. I got no shortage of that. And that's my haul there. So I don't know. I don't really think I did that badly, although definitely more than what would fit into a bread box, I guess. So I'm really happy with that transoceanic Zenith, though. I've wanted to mess around with one of those for a long time, ever since I saw one in an antique store. So there seemed to be no shortage of them this year and even actually saw one at the Central Ontario Ham Fest this past weekend. So
Did you plug it in?
I have not plugged it in because I'm waiting to score a Variac off of Rex next month at LobsterCon. So I want to do this gently, power this thing up. So, you know, unknown.
I don't believe this picture at all. I think we should double it. I don't think, because you saw his car, right? And don't go on about the skateboard ramp.
Yeah, exactly. The cheese wedge,
come on, like this
the
stuff,
sleeping bag, the cot.
I think you've hidden half of your stuff.
You still think I'm holding out, eh?
I remember when we tried to get out of that house, we could barely get out the front door because we had to clamber over all your crap.
See, I'm not the only one. And then the worst part is You know, you made Kevin lug this shit. I shouldn't say that. You made Kevin lug this stuff back to your car, you know?
That's okay. Kevin still loves me. So
Well, then why did Kevin leave an hour before you did? Because he was afraid that you're going to ask him to take shit back.
all right.
You helped carry stuff too, Dave. I remember you had your hands full. We were
only because I felt sorry for you, Kevin, because you had your knapsack and both hands full.
Yeah, but Dave was carrying it to the garbage cans.
Wait a sec. That's right. There were 3 bags. What happened to that third one? Huh. Anyway, and that I think is the end of the show. No more slides. So,
What did you pay for that battery?
Battery. Oh, the lithium iron. It was, I think, 130 or something like that, in that range. Anyway, US.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good price.
It was, yeah, it was decent. Because I think that is a 30. Is it? I'm not 24 amp hour. There it is. Yeah, 24 amp hour. So, but you know, it comes with an integrated display, which I kind of liked, and so yeah. That was decent. That was from Gigaparts, I believe. So,
hey, you didn't have a shot of our club table at 4 Days in May.
I did not. You are correct. I'm wondering if is that Dave? Did you take pictures, Dave, of the club?
I don't, because I was banished to the contest thing, so I couldn't take pictures. So I think
I did. I think I did. Give me a minute and I'll have one up.
You mean to tell me I spent all that time making that display board and you guys didn't take any pictures?
Oh yeah, no, there's pictures. There's definitely pictures.
I took many pictures and right now I'm kind of transferring it.
Actually, Peter, why don't you give like just a 5-minute, discussion about the club night, because that was very well. That was a good event, wasn't it? I think it was one of our best, wasn't it?
It was nonstop. To be honest with you, I was exhausted by the end of it. I tell you, the beer never tasted so good. I didn't stop talking. There had a huge amount of interest. Bert was there. It was great to see Bert out tonight. Yeah, just everybody was just chatting about especially the Phoenix projects, but also the our history as well. And I think I gave out about I think I got about 40 business cards left. So we handed out a lot of those. Yeah, and then we had a couple of nice comments from people. A couple of different people came by and said glad that we had attended there and set up a club table to show off our stuff. And yeah, I thought it went very, very well.
By far, Peter, I think that table had the biggest crowd around it than any other table there. I think the only other table that had, a significant number of people was the guy Adam, who had the little micro keyers and stuff. But I think everyone was flocking to the SOAREX booth.
Yeah, there was certainly no shortage of people to talk to and waiting in line to chat with us. That's for sure.
I have all those pictures I can share after you guys. Yeah.
I just noticed your message there, Bert, about the transoceanics. So I just caught wind of this actually when I was at the Central Ontario Hamfest. But there's actually that's all about specifically that. Somebody mentioned, whispered in my ear. But this thing exists. So yeah, if you have a quite the history of this particular radio. So with the little wave magnet antenna with a ladder line, you pop it up in a window and all that. So anyway, kind of cool. So you know what? Anybody who comes to well, I don't know if I'm maybe not. That's jumping the gun. Reverse order. I don't want to plug these things in until I gently get them brought up to speed. I don't want to blow a cap or whatever. So
I think, Eric, do us a favor and film it. Have a
yeah,
video.
sure.
Okay, we just it's entertainment, right?
At a minimum.
Absolutely.
I think Marty's pounding his fist here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not down at the Hamvention this year, but I was watching videos, and there was some fellow walking around who made a video. I had a camera on, and I guess he was at 4 Days in May. So I saw Peter. I saw you talking at the table. That came over the internet, and I think in one of Mike's VE3 MKX put out quite a series of pictures on the Hamvention and 4 Days in May that are on the ONTARS website. And there's 2 series of pictures there. And I think you're in one of them there. And Dave, your poster is visible both in that video and on those pictures that I saw. So good show, guys.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So yeah, again, I wanted to mention a brief blurb about the Central Ontario Hamfest. First time I'd gone to it, Dave mentioned that he had been there a couple years or many years ago. Got his a couple of rigs early on, but not a bad event actually. Fairly modest number of vendors, a few tailgaters and all that out there, but seemed to be reasonably well attended, and something for everybody there. Whether it was new microcontroller stuff or old military radios, you had a little bit of everything there. So just south of Cambridge, so not too far. But anyway, there's I think a few more fests coming up over the next several months. So keep your eye on the listings and support your local ham fests. So
Hey, Eric, could you let Cherry show his pictures of the table?
if you're ready, Cherry.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
Let me share my desktop.
And Cherry, if you want to upload any to the shared Google album for everybody to
yeah, I should do that. In fact, so sorry that I did not do that yet.
Yeah, it's okay.
Where is the shared screen? Actually, it's right on that 3 dots, right? Oh.
No, it's third from the left. It's
yeah,
Mike
yeah, I see now. Yeah, okay.
with the arrow.
So, and screen.
And share a tab.
Yeah, sure. Okay, can you see my desktop?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, so perhaps I will start from my first picture here, which is a warm bed at midnight. So that's when I reached the place. In fact, thanks a lot to all the gang members at the house, at the Airbnb, who prepared this bed, and it was great. In fact, I started late in the afternoon because I got held up because of work on the way to Dayton. I started around 2:30, reached around midnight to the place. In fact, joined the FDM for the first time ever. Because I've been to Dayton Hamvention a couple of times earlier in 2018 and 2019, but I have never been to FDIM. In fact, I never knew this was happening. So thanks to Dave, Peter, and also Eric for telling me about this. Yeah. Okay, so it was pretty interesting to go through this event. Actually, there were several presentations which I found very, very interesting. Started with a coherent CW, then I think there was a lot of good food everywhere throughout this session, and that is Greg Latt, I think. About talking about packaging, making cabinets. That was interesting, as well as K6ARK, who came to this session. Yeah, I watch his YouTube videos all the time. So yeah, in fact, it was quite interesting as well to see him and take picture with him and also talk to him. It was a pretty interesting presentation. I never knew he was coming, actually.
Adam's his name. Adam.
Yeah, Adam is his name, K6ARK. Yeah. And then Azar was there going through SBitX, interesting presentation. And then Hans Sommer, yeah, so this is the first time I'm joining his presentation, which was pretty interesting. And then I think, yeah, I think this is at the vendor night, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this photo got misplaced. This is the backyard of Airbnb, which I could never go to the backyard because every day was full. But yeah, and yeah, the picture is not in order. I apologize for that. But this is the first day in Dayton. The lineup and the parked vehicles. Yeah, pretty big lineup to get in. Okay, so yeah, this is the kit I bought from a site called Communication Concepts. I picked it up to save some postage or shipping cost. And I think this is a burrito I got from veggie burrito. I had it at Dayton. Yeah, I saw this, you know, and I bought this 20-watt power amplifier board from this guy called K9. Is that, I think, Kilo 9 Hotel Sulu. Yeah, there were a lot of free market vendors all throughout. I don't know whether you know this guy called The Smoking Ape. He runs that YouTube channel, The Smoking Ape. And I just wanted a couple of heatsinks. You know, in fact, I got a lot of heatsinks, which are pretty cheap. I got these magazines I picked up, and some of the books are pretty interesting. I got, and this is one kit I got it shipped to one friend of mine in the US, so I picked it up from his place on the way. QRP Labs, I got it from the vendor night. And this is the MRF 101 LDMOS based 100-watt RF amp and few other filters and transmit receive switch. And this is also one small amplifier. Yeah, in fact, this is the Rex kit, which I am yet to complete. And these are some of the kits I bought from Dayton. Thanks to Dave, I picked up this Kevlar wire from the vendor night, I think. Yeah. And some of the other kits on AccuProbe and a few other heat sinks and other one. I also got a Nano VNA I bought from R&L during that time. Again, thanks to Dave for saying that they are coming there, because I could pick that direct, and a few other swag and stuff. In fact, K6IRK gave this as free to me when I was talking to him. And I also wanted to support Rex with some of his activities. So I bought some of these boards from him. Yeah, and also got a few other things like this chunk PCB, which has some components on it. I also had all these cores. Some of the Amidon cores I got from a guy for pretty cheap. Third time at Dayton. Probably I will just quickly go through some of the pictures here, because you might have already seen this in. Okay, I think I have. Let me go to that. Yeah, okay. So these are the pictures from the vendor night. We got pretty good interest on our table. Actually, a lot of people were dropping by and was looking at our table, asking questions. In fact, Peter and also Kevin, everyone was pretty busy around the table. This is a good shot, I think, of the Buildathon poster. And in fact, we had a lot of good interest on our table, and also there was good food and everything. I got to take a picture with Hans, and also this is Jim Weish back in the Ham Mansion, who designs some of the hobby PCB circuits. With K60RK Adam. And this is one of the stuff I completed recently with the Nano VNA test kit. Yeah, that's all what I just picked and selected some of the pictures to save time for others. Hope it was interesting. I found it very interesting. In fact, FDIM was pretty good. There is a lot of experimenting, learning, sharing, and all that happening throughout this Dayton and FDIM. I got to meet a lot of interesting people. In fact, many homebrewers and lots of interesting stuff. Lots of different vendors and lots of stuff. In fact, 2 to 3 days is not enough to see it completely. That's what I felt. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions or comments?
No, that's very good, Sherry. Thank you for filling some of the gaps in there with my presentation. So, but yeah, if you want to upload some selected ones,
I will.
It doesn't have to be everything, obviously, but the veggie wrap, sure, you could put that in there. Why not? But yeah, that's good. So, all right. While Peter gets devoured by that descendant of wolves there, neck, go for the neck. That's it. Does anybody have any questions about anything? There you go. Dave, you have a question? Anybody but Dave? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
No, I wanted to show a video of actually coming back to what Cherry was saying about Jim Veach, because so if we have time, I wouldn't mind showing a short. It's like a 2-minute video.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, before we get to that, have you booked a house again?
I have not. I was actually going to bring that up towards the end, but
Okay.
no, the house has not been booked yet. But anyway, TBD. So, Dave, yeah, you can share your screen if you'd like.
Hey, Eric, when you showed a video,
Yep.
did you just put the YouTube URL?
It was actually just sharing through the screen sharing. Actually, it seemed to work. It was a video is saved in my Google Photos. So.
Okay, so, well, let me just try it.
You have it on YouTube?
Yeah.
You need to share the make sure the checkbox for audio is also checked.
Yeah, this should work.
Are you seeing this?
Blue screen at my end. No video, no. Yep, it's working.
Okay, so I'm going to pause this and I'm just going to explain. So this is I did a short little video. So what happened at the Voice of America, you guys could hear me okay, right?
Yep.
Okay, so at the Voice of America Museum, in their shack, they were showing us how much noise they were getting. It's very similar to the noise I get at my shack. And so they had a bunch of SDR radios, and they could show the noise across the board, and you could see the spikes, right? And so that kind of inspired me to come back, because I've got a bunch of SDR radios here. They used to work, but when I moved to my new shack in Paris, I never bothered to get them to work. So I thought, let me get them working so I could kind of map out the noise I've got. So that's what this video is about. After about 2 weeks of pulling my hair out and cursing Bill Gates, I was able to get 2 of the 3 SDR receivers or SDR transceivers I've got working. One, Cherry, is from Jim Veach. It's the Hobby PCB SDR. So I got that working. And then I got another one working, which is an old Genesis from a company in Australia. It was a kit I got and I built. And so I was able to get them working. So right now I'm just showing you a QSO on my ICOM, and then I'm going to switch over and show the same QSO on the SDR radios. So now this is Jim Veach's radio, the Hobby PCB SDR. Now the reason why the audio is so low, because I had the speakers below my desk and they were fairly far away, but the audio, trust me, is crystal clear. It came in loud and clear. It just, my phone that I was filming it on didn't capture it very well. And then finally, that's my Genesis radio that I built. I built that, geez, back in 2013, 2012-ish. I built that. I had it working then, and I haven't had it working since. So took me a lot of time to figure out, because I didn't document how to get it working. The company's no longer in business, and all their documentation has been removed from the web. So how do I end this, Eric? Eric, how do I end this? Do you know? Stop video. There you go. Okay, there we go. So no, just the
stop. Yeah, stop video or whatever.
Yeah, I got it. I figured it out. No, I just wanted to give a quick view of that, because that I spend all my time getting that. But it was a good exercise, because now I can use that to characterize my noise. Because when we looked at the Voice of America, you know, you look at their spectrum, they were getting noise, and you could see peaks every couple hundred kilohertz, right?
I don't know how those guys could even operate. They had so much noise. It was so bad.
Well, I know exactly how they feel, because I get the same amount of noise. But you heard how clear the Genesis SDR came in. It was like, with like the ICOM, all you could hear was noise in the background. And then with the SDR, a lot of that noise had gone away, and you could, the signal to noise ratio was so much better.
The right tool for the right job. Yep. Okay. All right. Ken, you'd like to chime in? You're muted, Ken.
There. Okay, it's much like that DCR recording I made, where I was recording the radio and how noisy it was, and then I switched over to the DCR and how much more quiet it was. There was still noise, but way down there.
Okay. All right. So I think seeing that it is 9 o'clock already, thank you for everyone for sticking with us through the presentation. I'm happy to see that nobody abandoned ship during that. So our recap of FDIM and Hamvention held everybody's attention. So appreciate sticking around for that. But instead of just doing a general, what's on your bench, maybe I'll just at this point, because I do have a few announcements to make at the end of the meeting, just open it up, raise your hand if you have something that you're working on right now that you'd like to talk about or, get input or what have you, and we'll go from there. So I'll try to keep it in order if I see the hands being raised. And Frank, you're first.
Okay. Just a couple of things I've been working on. And the first one is a continuation of the Heath kit. The one that I bought from El Wofrey, partially built. It's still partially built, but it's a lot further on. And there was a problem with one of the coils that he had ordered a new coil for it, but unfortunately the value was okay, but the physical size was wrong. And it took me quite a while to search around and find a coil that would be proper and fit. But I did finally find one, and it's back ordered until the middle of July. So I carried on with the kit. I'll just show it to you. And it's a lot of wires hanging out. And the reason it come to a dead stop right there is because in order to put this one coil in, I'd have to take the whole circuit board out, and I'd have to unsolder the other end of all of those wires that are sticking there. So I've put it aside until July 14th and looked around for a couple of other projects, and found the one that I think was Kevin featured was from Midnight Design Group, and it's the 2 circuit boards. The top one just arrived today. The bottom one I've had for a bit of time, and to build the keyer. And I do have the Pico that I've had sitting around for a few months and never had a project for it. So that'll go in there, and that'll help fill the time. And the one other project that I have on the board here is, if you remember, my glue stick receiver is working and everything's fine, but it's missing some good indication of what frequency you're on. So I had this kit around, a frequency counter kit, and that I bought off of eBay or something like that. And I've been working on that. So the front panel will only take 3 display digits. So I've taken the 3 out in order to mount them on the front, and the other two are still sitting on the board. You can see that there. So those are the things that are keeping me busy in the shack while I wait for the part to come out to finish the HW9. So that's about it for here, but I just wanted to share that before I have to leave the meeting early tonight. So thank you very much, and it was an excellent, informative meeting. I wish I were there.
All right, Frank, thanks very much for that. I appreciate keeping us informed of what's going on in your corner there. So we'll get around to that, having that coffee with you next time we're in your neighborhood. So
yes, by all means.
Yeah. All right, Bert, I believe you had your hand up next.
Yeah, so I hope that making it, it says it's a poor connection. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, you're coming through fine, actually. It's a little grainy, but your audio is perfect.
Okay, well, just real briefly, I've got the QMX here. That's the board, if you can see it in the package, and the front panel. So I'm going to be working on that hopefully a week or two. Not quite ready to start on that yet, but hoping to build that. It's great to see you guys, Peter, Dave, Eric, and Cherry. And I'm going to say 7 threes, and I got to pull a plug here. But it was great to be able to join you guys.
Oh, no, super, Bert. Just curious, actually, what state are you in?
I'm in Virginia.
Virginia. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and hope to see you in a couple weeks for our regular meeting. If you'd like to pop in, by all means, please do.
For sure.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
All right. 7:30. And Peter.
Okay, well, I've not gotten back to anything in the shack really, although today I did spend a little bit of time actually trying to clean up things so I can move around here. The Phoenix board, I have a 510 soldered in for the finals, and wasn't successful in getting it to actually behave properly. And of course, my biggest buy at Dayton this year is these guys right here from Hobby PCB. And that's the RD16 MOSFET. So next up on my list is to put that in the Phoenix board and see if I can get the transmit part now up and running to go along with the receive. So that'll be great. The other thing that's been coming up in my mind now as the next project is to go down the path of an active probe. I think I might take that on. That shouldn't take too much famous last words, right? That shouldn't take too much time to put one of those things together, based on the poor man's active probe. So I think I might give that a shot and see how that works out. Anyway, that's it from Kingston.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Peter.
Hey, Peter, by the way, that Hobby PCB SDR transceiver that uses single RRD16HF ones, and it gets 5 watts right across all bands, completely flat. So Jim Veach has solved the problem with getting completely flat response with one MOSFET. So we need to pay attention, take a look at what he's doing.
Okay. I don't see any more hands up, so I think that is pretty much it for the informal part of things. And I guess to wrap it up, our next meeting is 2 weeks from today, Wednesday, June 21st. That'll be our regular meeting, hosted by Ken, I believe, if he is around. And I'm not sure. I think we may have something on the schedule for that. Kevin's got something from what I understand. Dave?
Yeah. Hey, Eric, don't forget, are you going to talk about field day?
Yep. So I got two things coming up as well. I guess I should have done those first before the next meeting. That sounded like I was closing things off. But field day coming up Friday, 23rd of June. So that's 2 days after our general meeting. So I'm going to put a posting in the SOAREX group. I should actually make a note to do that. But take this as your invitation to those assembled here. Once again, field day, I guess, whatever, 1 day, 2 days, 2 nights, I don't know how we measure it, at the farm here. Come one, come all, Friday afternoon. You feel free to come as early as Friday afternoon to get settled in and set up. We have ample space if you want to pitch a tent or whatever. We do have a few beds as well, so if you're looking for that option, let me know, and we'll try to accommodate you here as well inside the house. But it's basically a weekend of socializing. Bring your gear. I believe we're trying to aim to have a this was Dave's idea, have a bring your homebrew rigs and get them on the air. So I'll have my multi-band, my 6-band vertical up and running by that point. Unfortunately, the previous one was destroyed, but dismantled. Let's put it that way. So it's in the process of being converted to another band eventually, strap it all together. But I do have a new Hustler here that I picked up that will be the second iteration of that. So anyway, you've got that, and bring an antenna if you want to string it up. We got trees to put things up if you want to bring an end fed or a dipole. That's been done in the past without issues. So we're in Caledon, so just north of Brampton, so not too far for most people. Not all, I get it, but most people that are assembled here. So that's that. Like I said, I'll put a posting up asking for RSVPs and all that. So Ken, you had a question?
Yeah, the next meeting, when's that? The 21st. I
21st.
can't be there or be here. And then
okay.
then the following week, I'm off to Winnipeg for funeral services, so I might be gone for a little while.
Okay, you gonna be able to make it up to field day?
Yeah, I'm gonna try come early evening on Friday.
Okay.
Are we actually going to participate in field day, or?
I think so. I mean, we can, make a submission, I guess, on behalf of SOAREX, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the logistics of doing that is, but I don't think there's too much to it. Is there?
No, we could just use someone's call sign for that, and indicate,
that's a
this
group.
this person with operators.
Right.
We also have to be careful. We got to say, 1 station, 2 station, 3 stations, and all that gibberish.
Yeah, because we're going to be making contacts, and we want people to be able to corroborate in their logs, right? So sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just for field day either, guys. It's a little get together, socializing. If you want to swap, you want to have a miniature swap meet, sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Saturday afternoon, right? Have a little, or maybe not Saturday afternoon, maybe Saturday morning before things get going.
Yeah.
Have a there's not really that much setup to do, right? In a traditional field day, you're scrambling around, throwing things up and that, but a lot of that can be done Friday if you want. And then, so I'd say Saturday morning, but I'll put that in the post, like maybe Saturday at 11 in the morning or something like that. If you want to do a little swap meet, bring stuff. But anyway, more details to come on that.
Yeah. I think Al's
We
going to be
even-
dropping by again.
Great.
To Ken's point, we even got Hassan on the air. I think it was last year. Ken, that was his first time actually keying a mic. On,
Yeah, I helped them out get started.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple pictures or one picture on that display board of him and I.
Yeah, so yeah, to Ken's point, there's a lot of other things going on. If you don't want to operate, I don't operate, but I just go and just be annoying to everyone else.
Yeah, Ken, you're right. There is a picture. There is a picture of you and Hassan. He's the one with all the hair.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys. If you've never been there, it's a great social event, and
I hope you like dogs.
Yeah.
So
we'll have a fire going at night too.
Yep. Light shows, laser shows. I got lots of new lasers and lights to show off. So.
And chickens, dogs and chickens.
Yeah, theremins, new theremins to show off.
Don't forget the donkey.
The donkey, yep. Don't forget the donkey. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is LobsterCon. I think that was touched on at the beginning of the meeting, but if anybody is interested in yet another Ham Radio social event, it is Friday, July 7th to Sunday, July 9th. If you want to make a trip to the East Coast, it's not too far, but W1REX is hosting the, I don't know, probably like 25th annual LobsterCon, something of that nature why can't I think of the name? Anyway, it's the Thomas Point campground in Maine. I can't think of the town right now, but right on the coast. Lots of clams to be had there if that's your thing. Clams and lobsters. So anyway, myself and Dave are committed to going out, and there are other Canadians that go out there. John Turgoose, I know, is one of those, a regular attendee, and some others. So anyway, you have a look at that. It's the details on the qrpme.com page. You can read up about it, but it's another fun event. Not too serious. There's no talks, there's no quizzes, there's no tests. Just a lot of socializing and chat amongst people. Kindred spirits. Let's put it that way. So anyway. So that's I think I'll put a posting on that in SOAREX as well, just for what it's worth. So, all right.
One more thing, Eric. Field day. We're allowed to use a special call sign. If you go onto your QRZ, they put an alias at the bottom of the page. I think it's CY something or other your call. So in my case, it'd be like CY 3ABN. So that might entice more people to jump on our calls.
Interesting. Okay. So sorry, that information is on the QRZ.
It's actually on RAC. But if you go if you actually go to the bottom of your QRZ page, it'll have your alias there.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right.
If not, we can use mine. Whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? In field day, they probably don't care about different call signs, like prefixes. All they care about is a new contact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the tip, Ken. All right. So thank you again for everybody attending. Looks like Peter's ready for bed. So
I'm still jet lagged. It's an age thing. Hey, listen, don't forget to start talking about next year, 4 days in May. Don't forget that one. You were going to mention that.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I got to send out the final invoices as well to the deadbeats and
expired.
Expired.
You're too late. You were too late to send out the invoice.
It's okay. You know what? Those that have paid are free and clear. The others, so you don't want to see the interest rate. So.
I volunteered to pay right then and there. It's not my fault that you were tardy.
That's okay. He owes me money, so I'm good.
That's right.
Interest. And
Dave's
I
in the
don't
black.
take thermins. I don't take thermins. Sorry, man. I draw the line.
I got some stuff to give you. Don't worry.
Take the Theremin, because then you can trash it.
Howard, go ahead, please.
Oh, I just wanted afterwards, if the kits and parts, people want to stick around to discuss that, or just worry about it later.
Sure, I guess.
Oh, listen, you guys are going by Kingston on the way to.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Peter. I
Right?
was just going to say that. And that, when is that, Eric? That's first week of July, right?
We're going to be going by on my birthday, as it happens, Wednesday, July 5th. So. Hey.
Yeah, so Howard, we could, myself and Eric, well, I placed a purchase, so I could pick mine up on the way to Lobster Pond.
That's July 7th, you said?
July
Yeah,
5th
it's
is when we're going to be going through.
The Wednesday.
Okay, I'll be out of town, but I can get the